When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him.
Yeah.
And he shall rain it upon him while he is eating.
And he shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So what's going to be rained upon this world that they've solely created based on us being their slaves? The missiles. The missiles are going to go and get them. That's the indignation that's preserved forth to come. Okay? So we could talk about the Lord showing his level of wrath to the vessels of dishonor. That's in the book of Romans, the 9th chapter. I'm roughly paraphrasing the scripture. If somebody can give me that, Romans 9, I believe it's in verse 29 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, all we're telling you is the words of God. We're not telling you anything different. Just like when Yahawashi told the disciples of the fall of Jerusalem would come. It surely came. Okay, we can't, like I said, I'm going to say this again. We can't tell you what we want to tell you. Even if we wanted to tell you that you at least are going to be taken care of and you're going to survive and God is going to forgive you. We can't tell you those things. We can only but tell you what the Lord revealed unto us. Just like Prophet Micah, he was telling the king of Israel at the time what was going to happen to him. And you had other messages which were behind this king of Israel, okay, which is a part of our history, by the way, that everything was going to go well and they were going to win this war. But Prophet Micah said, look, no, that's not going to happen. I've seen the nation scattered abroad, meaning he was going to die, and eventually he did die. Okay? That's I believe that's in the book of Chronicles, man. Chronicles 18 or something like that. I believe it's First Chronicles 18. But I'll put it in the I'll probably do a sit down on it if it be the Lord's will. Go on, brother.
Did you call for Romans 9 and 29? Right, and it says, and as Isaiah said before, except the Lord of Sabaoth had left us a seed, we would have been as Sodom and Gomorrah and made. Sorry, let me read that again. And as Isaiah said before, except the Lord of Sabaoth had left us a seed, we had been as Sodom and been made like unto Gomorrah. What shall we say then? That the Gentiles which followed not after righteousness have attained to righteousness, even the righteousness which is of faith.
Can you read the verse where it talks about the vessels of honor and the vessels of dishonor?
Let me see if I can find that for you. It's not here.
I think it's try verse 24.
It is written, Jacob have I loved.
It's 22. There you go. It's 22.
My goodness. Jumping all over the place.
21.
That happens sometimes, man.
Verse 21. Hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor?
God.
And it says, what if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction?
Yeah, so the Lord is going to show his wrath. There's no what if. He's going to show his wrath unto those that are the vessels of wrath, which are indeed the sons of perdition, which would have to be the so-called white people today, which are alive and well as the Edomites. This is why it says in the book of Isaiah 63, there's so many precepts that we can get on the coming of the day of the Lord, and when he does come, the wicked will be revealed in his time, and that he will be here alive to face the judgment of the Lord because of the things that he has done unto his people. Okay? Go on, brother.
This is Psalms.
Yeah, we'll read this one, and then we're going to go back to what you had, brother.
Oh, Thessalonians.
Yeah.
This is Psalm 7.
That too.
This is Psalm 7 and 12. Now start 11. The Most High judgeth the righteous, and the Most High is angry with the wicked every day.
Yeah.
If he turn not, he will whet his sword. He hath bent his bow and made it ready. He has also prepared for him the instruments of death.
Right. He has also prepared for him the instruments of death, which is the missiles, and as well as the laser beams, which is going to proceed out of the mouth of those chariots, which will destroy this man's civilization. The Roman Empire. That's what I mean by civilization, because that's another way of saying Rome. You know, so there's many verses out of many, and we just read one verse. Okay? And we can go on for days. I don't want to say days, but we can go on for hours talking about the destruction of this man. That could be a topic in itself. All right? So in order for that to happen, the Edomites would have to be here today to fulfill the prophecy of the wicked being destroyed. Go on, brother.
He ordained his arrows against the persecutors.
He ordained his arrows against the persecutor. The number one persecutor and the accuser is these devils. I mean, there's a whole lot of our people, so-called black men, that have been wrongfully accused of a crime they didn't commit, and they're in jail to this very moment in time, or they just coming out of jail serving a 40-year bid or a 35-year bid in the States. And just being persecuted over things that they didn't do, or being persecuted over paying child support, which is a way to just keep our people oppressed and so that our people don't stand upright on a financial tip, or economically, I would say as well. So this society has been pretty much a prison for us, because you have the ones of our people that are under this devil. All of us as a nation that are under a nation that naturally hate us, going all the way back to the times of Jacob and Esau. Go on, brother.
It's verse 14. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity, and have conceived mischief, and brought forth falsehood.
And brought forth lies and deceptions around the world. And what they use is a very powerful tool, such as the media. Go on.
He made a pit and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made.
And we also have to include their schools too. They set up these schools to program you, to so-called educate you, which really, that's the wrong word to use. The word educate is from the Latin word, I believe it's the Latin educare, which means to draw out. Okay? That's what it means. But in this case, what they're doing is they're trying to get you to intel information of what they're telling you. Hence you get the term intelligence, which means to intel information. So you're intelling information from what they're telling you, and you're becoming indoctrinated under their program for their particular world. And really, in all reality, when you break it down, you become a vessel for their new world order, or their modern day system as you have it today. You're not being taught to be self-sufficient or independent-minded. You're really being taught to be a better slave. Okay? That's what they do. That's also another thing that's been revealed as well, on how they use the media and these school systems against the people to suppress their level of knowledge so that they can be independent. Anyway, that's another subject for another time. Let's read on, brother.
It's verse 16. His mischief shall return upon his own head.
Yeah.
And his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate.
Yeah, so I mean, again, it's a cause and effect. Whatever you put out there is what you're going to get back in return. That's just the way of life. It's basic. Like, they may not, like, you, for example, you have these Edomites that don't believe in the Most High, but they believe in science. But even science shows you that this is simple things such as a cause and effect. Okay? And it even says it in the book of Galatians, not Galatians, Colossians 3, and Galatians the 6th chapter. If you can, brother, get those two precepts. Get Colossians 3, I believe it's in verse 20, and get me Galatians 6 or 7. You had a precept, didn't you?
Yeah.
You get that out first.
Kind of past, but I'll bring it out anyway. Habakkuk 2, verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time,
Yep.
but at the end it shall speak and not lie.
Yeah, for the vision is appointed time. What vision is this referring to? The coming of the Lord, the Messiah. Go on.
And though it tarry, wait for it.
Though it tarry, wait for it. And we don't have to wait too long. Now, we were back in the 1970s or the 1980s, then we would have to wait for it. But we don't have to wait too long, because there's so much signs and wonders that are being seen on this earth, which indicates to the men of the Lord, those that are awakened and the initiated, that the Heavenly Father is coming back real soon. And that there's prophecies too. Go on, brother.
It says, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry.
Go on.
And that was it.
Oh, that was it on that. Okay, Con. That's all we need. Yeah, so yeah, read what you got, brother.
What did you want? Colossians 3.
Yeah, 3.
It's Colossians 3. If he didn't be risen with
It says something to the effect of he shall receive the wrong which he have done. If you can get me that, I believe is in verse 20. Colossians 3. And then somebody can get me Galatians 6 or 7.
Oh, this is Colossians 3 and 25.
25, okay.
But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he have done.
Yeah.
And there is no respecter of persons.
Yeah, so I mean, like I was going into briefly, just early, all of the wrongs that were committed by a people, they're going to have to deal with that. Okay, and that's just like what I was going into earlier before, what we had done as a people, what we did to our power, which led us to being overthrown under these people, which led us to be taken as slaves under these people, and still in the conditions that we face today. So we had to pay for the crimes that we did against the Heavenly Father. So how much more how much more these people, how much more these Edomites? They have to pay for what they've done. There's no getting off scot-free. Now, it may seem like that. It may seem like, oh, we've gotten over it. It's been 400, 500, 600 years ago of the things that we've done. But the Lord requires that which is past. And by the way, let's just even talk about the 1960s. In the 1960s, they were already lynching our people during the time of Martin Luther King down south. We could talk about places like Mississippi, places like Alabama, places like Arkansas. Negroes were being lynched in the 1960s, man. And that wasn't too long ago. We're talking about almost what? 60, we could talk about 55 to 60 years ago. That wasn't long ago. So there's constant crimes that they're committed, and they have to pay for these crimes. And you see what's going on right now. I'm gonna put it like this. You see the earth is nothing but the courts. The earth is nothing but a court, and we're the judges of it. Just like when we commit a crime, they like to bring us before the courts, and they like to place judgment upon us because of the crimes we committed. Well, guess what? We're doing the same thing. We're opening up the books, and we're reading about what you've done and what you're about to do, and we're also reading about the payback, what the payback's going to be. That's all that's going on. So you want to talk about the judges? We are the judges, judging you devils as to what's going to happen to you after the things you've done. Go on, brother. You want to say something?
Yeah, just we read it earlier, but I'll bring it again. Job 20 and 23. When he's about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him.
Yeah.
Because this man, like, as the elder was getting into, man, like, he's done so many messed up shit. No, the reason we're in this, like, the world being ruled like this, is a result of him, man. You know, his bad judgment, and also what he's done to the apple of the Lord's eye, being the nation of Israel. So as the elder was saying, it looks like he's winning. You know, it looks like he's actually going to fulfill it, man. Because it says whilst he's about to fill his belly, like when you're eating that meal, it's that last, that last spoonful that's satisfying, man. And as you're about to put it in your mouth, Esau, the Lord's going, slap it out of your hand, man. And cast that back in school, they had this stupid game, right? You'll be eating a snack or something, and someone will run up to you and smack it out of your hand. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? But that's exactly what the Lord's going to basically do to Esau and his plans, man. And it says, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain upon him while he is eating, man. And when you're eating, you're at ease.
You're enjoying your meal, brother.
So it's going to get to the point where it looks like Esau's flipping done it, man. You've gone ahead and done it. You've accomplished what you wanted to. But in that moment, that's when the Lord's going to pay you back, man.
I got one for that, that precept what you just read there. Malachi 1:4 says, this is an oldie but goodie. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever.
Oh yes, indeed. And that time is going to come. And like the brother put it, he put it just fine. Because like I was saying, I mean, it looks like they're proceeding, and it looks like they're succeeding, with their agenda. But in all reality, the Lord got some cooking for them, and it's not going to be good for Esau. It ain't going to be nice. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like, all we're telling you, and I'm going to say this again, all we're telling you is what is going to be. We're not telling you this because we personally have a personal hatred or vendetta against you, even though we do hate you. But we're not doing it based on that. We're doing it based on what was revealed unto us through the Spirit, because we do have the Holy Spirit upon us to tell you these things and to tell the world these things. But you're going to pursue us because of that, which was ordained and prophesied to be in this. Excuse me. That was something that was prophesied to be anyway. All right? Go on, brother.
This is Galatians 6 and verse 7. Be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
Right. That shall he also reap. For whatever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So when we look at the British Empire in itself, I mean, the empire is very bloody, as well as the American empire is very bloody. So if you build a place, or you build a world by iniquity, by shedding blood, then the blood shedding will come towards your way. Go on, brother.
Zechariah 1 and 15, and I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction.
But they helped forward the affliction, and what did they do? They made our curse even worse, because we were already put to a curse, and they've pretty much maximized our conditions, the curses basically. They heightened it. So I mean, again, they have to pay for what they've done unto our people, which is the Lord's people, as well as. I mean, we could talk about what they've done in Baghdad, Afghanistan. I mean, we could talk about what they did from that time and prior in centuries.
The Tony Blair era.
Right, the Tony Blair era, the Tony Blair and Bush era. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we can go into all of that, and yet and still, we'll still be here talking about Esau's dirt. We'll be here until our dying days, man. Okay, that's how much, pretty much, blood has been shed. I mean, we could talk about what happened in South Africa. We could talk about what they did in India. Okay, and also the Boxers' Rebellion, which we know what that was all about. Opium and all that shit. So again, they have to be paid for. They have to receive what they've dished out to the earth, and including God's people too. That's why, if you know there's a Lord, He's coming to visit, more in particular America now. He's coming to visit other places, but the main place the Lord is going to visit is America. Why? Because most of the tribes in the Americas were affected there by the Edomites. That's why He's coming over there first. Go on, brother.
Galatians 6 and verse 7. Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
That shall he also reap. For whatever a man sow, that shall he also reap. So whatever you did and how you did it, it's going to be paid back. Because we can't, like I said, like mankind can think other thoughts and have other ideas and have a vision of what they want, but it's not about your vision, it's about the vision of the Lord. Okay, and the vision of the Lord, and we can even get that in the book of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, which is already set up because the prophets had visions that the Lord gave unto them. Okay, things which would before need to come to pass that would happen, and that's what we got to expect. Now, like I said, I'm gonna reiterate what I'm saying. People can say, well, that was done and we didn't need to do it, and you know, we don't do that no more. I never owned no slaves. I never did this and that, the third. But it's not even about that. It's about the aftermath. Okay, you've done all of that work. So the aftermath is that you're going to be paid for. You're going to have to receive the same things that's going to be done unto you that you've done unto others. That's the judgment. Go on, brother.
This is Numbers 35 and verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are.
Yeah.
For blood it defileth the land.
For blood it defileth the land. And this land is bloody as heck, man, because you had a lot of our people that were ruling in the UK, which was once called the UK. Okay. Mainly it was called Britain, because our people was ruling. And what they did down here, as records show, I mean, you have to kind of look very hard for it though, but records do show that we were here first. And I mean, it's not that hard to find basically, but the kind of records that I'm talking about is this. When Esau came up into the power seat, eventually they got up in there during the time of Oliver Cromwell, and that's when they enslaved our people. They conquered our people down here, took them from their estate, and shipped them off as slaves to the other side of the world. That's what they did also. So as well as they shipped our people from West Africa to the New World, they shipped our people from England and the different parts of Europe. But I'm mainly dealing with England because that's where we're located at. They conquered our people here and shipped them over to the Americas. So the so-called Negroes in America, a reasonable population of them could actually go back to down here in England. That's why a lot of them have English or Irish last names. Now they will say, the media will say, or those that claim to know something, they'll say, well, the reason why you have English names is because your slave masters had those names. No. According to the documents, 3% of people, which would probably be the so-called Jews that owned the slaves. So if that was the case, we shouldn't have so-called Jewish last names, but we don't. So where did these English names come from that our forefathers kept? Because they were down here in England. They were speaking English.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what they won't tell you down here in this country, and also as well as the American school systems. They won't tell you that some of us also came from this country too. All right? But I'm going to bring all of that out in due time, if, when the time is correct. Go on, brother.
Alright, so continuing on, Numbers 35:33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are,
Yep.
for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
But by the blood of him that shed it. So a lot of blood was shed in these lands, and pretty much their blood has to be shed, and that's how the Lord is going to cleanse these lands. More in particular, the judgment which will take place, which is the coming of the day of the Lord, will happen in America, and pretty much worldwide, but more in particular, the Lord is going to deal with America. Okay? Because of the crimes committed against the people of God. Keep dark anyway. Yeah, keep dark, man. Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Come on.
Yeah, he's all right. Yeah, so, yeah, read what you got, brother.
I've got Proverbs 21 and 30. There is no wisdom, nor understanding, nor counsel against the Lord Yahawah Yahawashi.
Con. Yeah, there's nothing else that can supersede what's already written and what the Lord already put out there in the earth. The Lord created the earth by his wisdom and his understanding. So therefore, his judgments will proceed. Everything's going to happen according to the way he wants it to be done, because we're his creation. So can't nobody say anything differently outside of this. Now you got people that will say, well, you got something to say, brother?
Yes, sir.
Go on.
I didn't mean to interrupt
I'm
you
talking
with
too
speech.
much anyway.
No, it's good. But something just popped into my head. Like, you said nothing can supersede the will of the Most High. We know that Vocab Malone is a loser anyway, but let's say we did stop saying, okay, we're the Israelites. That wouldn't change anything.
No, it wouldn't.
It wouldn't prevent Yahawashi coming back.
Yeah.
So ultimately, it's a vain and futile thing to try and come against the word. Nothing can come against it.
Yeah.
And that's a very beautiful point made. Very beautiful point, because man thinks a certain way, and the way that we think, okay, if something stops happening, then, oh yeah, well that's it. No, it's not it. Okay, just because you do certain things, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the way it is, because that's the way it seems. So let's say if we were to put away all of this and we became Christians again, the Lord would set up other men to proclaim this truth.
If I may say,
Go on, brother.
he said he raised up stones to worship him.
Yeah,
so
that too.
even if we stop, the stones will start. Yeah.
Yeah. Nature would start revealing things that we didn't reveal. So either and or, it's all by the will of the Lord, and no wisdom and understanding can supersede God's understanding and wisdom, because by his wisdom all of us were created, and including this earth. So his creation cannot supersede what he created. All right? Go on, brother.
Oh, it's finished on that.
You got some more on that? Correct.
I was finished with that.
Oh, you okay? That's all right. Yeah, let's go back to 2 Thessalonians.
Yeah, I've got that here. So this is back in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for the day shall not come except there come. Actually, we dealt with that because we went to Matthew 24.
Yeah, you can read verse 5. I believe.
5, yeah. So 2 Thessalonians 2 and 5. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things.
Yeah.
And now we know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time.
Yeah.
For the mystery of iniquity doth already work.
And how more so would he be revealed in his time? Because in his time, if you can, somebody get Revelations 5 and 5. Because in his time, we would be in the age of this truth being revealed again. And how would that happen? Let's read this.
Verse 5 and 5?
Yep.
Got it. So it says, and one of the elders saith unto me, weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to